What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about breaking trauma bonds, how it all starts and how you can end it. It normally starts from just a small gesture, you know, like from a narcissistic individual or just a toxic person in general. It can even start from someone who's not aware of their personality. So trauma bonds doesn't always start with just narcissists. It can be two completely normal individuals who are unaware. Now this is just me saying this. I'm not an expert. Because I have formed trauma bonds with people myself. I've never tried to hurt anyone. I never had ill intentions toward anyone who I've dealt with. So, you know, and I know so many other people who have trauma bonded relationships, and they're good as gold. So it doesn't always mean people who form, trauma bonds are narcissists or toxic people. You can even be toxic with good intentions of being a good person, just being unaware of who you are. So it starts from that, you know. But we're talking about narcissists. Narcissistic trauma bonds start from these shisty people, like shisty car salesmen, fast talkers, with these too good to believe sales pitch. You know, it's like some of these old magicians you might meet on the strip. You know, they reach your $100 bill, and then they're quick to show you new tricks. And just like that, with quick hand movements, before you know it, your mind is on, okay, where's that $100 bill that I just had in my hand? Just that fast, they took it away. It's gone, just like that. You know, just like narcissists. They come at you, in another state. And then once you realize, dang, they weren't real. Nothing about them is real. You know, you have already gone through the ringer with them. And you have already lost a lot. You know, you just have to think about that later on down the line. You were tricked out of something. You know, it happens like that when we start to form bonds with people who we really get to know the way we should, because we don't really learn about their past and deep-rooted issues that they may have dealt with. And the same with us. We're so happy in a moment, so glad to find love again, you know. But with narcissists, it's like they see you before you even think about that about yourself. They see that part of you before you realize that you're just that bad off, and there are things you need to work on before even going into a relationship with someone. You know. So narcissists, you know, they're known to make promises in the beginning, and before you know it, they're already gone in another place when you're ready to remind them of something they promised you. But it starts from them offering to give you the world, you know, without really even getting to know you. That's how it all starts, you know. All they seen was the perfect target, and they went for it, and they got you like that. Next, they make things look, again, too good to be true. They make these huge promises to fulfill your needs, and they'll give you the world if you just be with them. So now this is where you take them up on an offer. and things are steadily going in motion, preferably in the direction the narcissist prefer the most, which normally leads you to believe that you're in love and that they're the one for you. And you never really got to know them and their true character. You just took them up on a promise to treat you right. And now they're getting bored and probably even met new supply. This is where you come to see the mask kind of slips when you ask them simple questions like, I thought we had planned to do this. I thought we were going out for dinner tonight. And they might even snap your head off or give you a dry response, really kind of give you the dry shoulder, don't want to be bothered. That's when you kind of start to see the red flags of someone who is just not who they claim to be. Or they one way 1 minute and the next minute they just change like a whole 360 into someone else. Because they'll show you that they have other things to do and they don't care. Don't even bother like getting an explanation or reminding them of something else. Because they don't care. They still going to go in the direction they want to go. They do not care. They don't care how much things bother you or what you sacrifice for that moment that they so promise to have with you. They don't care. You can lose out with a North. They're always thinking about a way to make it up to you, you know, and they take from other places to give to you. That's how they get along in life. That's how they survive. They're going to make it up to you, all right. They're going to come back love bombing you. And again, you're stuck within this trauma bond because you're probably going to take them back. And I know a lot of y'all have your own experience with narcissists, you know, and they probably were completely different, you know. Probably leaving, I'm probably leaving some things out because I really can only speak from my own experience. And I'd rather only speak from my own experience and tell y'all how I overcame it and was just completely done with it and moved on and began to heal once I made sense of things, stuff like that. Again, I'm not an expert, not claiming to be, and I don't need to be. Because who wants to go through something like this anyway, just to claim yourself to be an expert? Like, I don't. But I am glad if I am able to help somebody to understand this stuff a little bit clearer. You know. But that's how it was in the beginning. How it changed in the middle, and how we all know it will end is, the trauma bond is simply holding on to these promises and being stuck in that moment. And when they show you the softer side of them, the sincere side, on the whole, like a whole wow level, it's just like an act. That's just an act to keep you. That wow moment, like, you never cease to amaze me. As soon as they get you so mad as hell at them to the point where you like, you know what? I'm not going to let you do this to me again. You've done this to me too many times. I'm done. I'm really done. We done all been there. And we've experienced it. And we have seen people going through it. And a lot of time it's so easy for the person on the outside to speak on someone else. Especially if you haven't gone through it. Like, you need to just get out. And at one point, we weren't able to get out that easily. We were stuck in an emotional place with this person. We had this emotional attachment to them. We really thought that if I love them enough, they'll change. And you cannot change a narcissist. You can't. It's not going to happen. They're stuck on being who they are. They don't see fault in their ways. They refuse to take accountability. It gets worse when you become bold enough to call them out. That's why a lot of times we just accept it and just brush it off and allow them to keep treating us the way we do in the name of love. you know. And that's not love. That is not love at all. People who may experience trauma bonds in their past from either neglect, abuse, both mental and physical, you may feel like you overcame it and you're still cool with the person. But you may be cool with them because you're still accepting a little bit of who they are. You never really come to realize that you were dealing with a toxic individual. Now, we're talking about the narcissist, you know, and they keep you, they always end up making you a topic at some point. They always end up bringing you back up. That's why it's best when you cut off the narcissist to let it be. Don't go back to them, don't give them a second chance. When narcissists enter your life, they come in the name of love and honesty. And of course, you believe them because you want to believe them, not because you want to be mistreated. You weren't thinking a trauma bond would form. You just thought, oh, we're just going through some hard times right now. Everybody have ups and downs in their relationships, and they work through it and get over it and move on. You may start to recognize red flags because they promise you one thing, claim to be another. And they show you the total opposite of both. And trauma bonds have been there since the beginning of time. The Bible warns us to test the spirits. So it's important to do this because we're living among some very dark spirits. And if we're not careful, we'll fall right into their dirty traps of deception. Think about the lyrics and songs that we have heard. Like Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do with It? A classic. We all know the story. We saw the movie. We seen how she was mistreated, both verbal, mental, and verbal, mental, and physical abuse. Just read the lyrics. Another song is by New Edition, If It Isn't Love. Sometimes if you really pay attention to the things that people sing in songs, we like, damn. And it's not that you love songs like that keep you in this depressing state. Like, oh, I just want to feel sorry for myself and just cry. And, we don't want to feel like that. It's that we can relate to it. We feel it. We feel it. We don't like it because we enjoy the experience of what the song is talking about. It's because we relate to it. And another one is a song by Billie Eilish, When the Party's Over. Some of y'all might say, well, I don't really look at that as a trauma bonding song, but I do. I do. You can take it from that. You can pull it out of that as well. So you could just hear the sadness when you think about how they express themselves in that song, about this person they were supposed to be in love with. And it's like they did their part. They showed them love. They did everything that a person with good intentions for someone would do. But they didn't get that in return. It was always a trick of the enemy. And so it kept you in a state of confusion, because even though they promised to be one way and claimed to be one way, you never felt that from them. You never felt it. Love is not supposed to hurt. Love does not hurt. That's how you know that these bonds were not formed out of love. It was all a trick of the enemy. And instead of subjecting yourself to the toxic situation and living in doubt, you know, and just hoping for the best, things will change, they'll get better, we're going to work on it. There's nothing you need to work on. When you do that, it's like they trick you into believing you got to stoop down to their level. You got to get on their level in order for things to get better. They kind of turn it on you and make you feel like it's your fault that they act that way. And the moment you start to believe it, that's a real bad place to be. That's bigger than the trauma bond itself. Is when you start to believe that your abuser, you're the reason why your abuser treats you that way. And sticking it out with them doesn't make you stronger. You're better off without them. You'll start to see a huge shift in your life and things get better. Better things will come your way because you're not bonded to this certain individual anymore. you know, and now people can really see you outside of those false narratives that the abuser created, that this toxic person created, this very negative spirit created, and all those lies and stuff, like they treat you with how they see you now. Like they see the real you, so they treat you accordingly, not based off who you were attached to, who you used to go with. I hate when people do that. Like, people change. We all have room to change. Everybody should have their fair, you know, give them that amount of time to change and show you a different side of them, rather than just hold them to be this person they were when they were with, the one who was treating them bad. Because that's all you're going to see. But you only see it if that's all you choose to see. An open-minded individual choose to see things different. They choose to look at it from different angles. And they accept different perspectives on everybody. So now people will start to see the real you. And those who are worth your time, they'll have that understanding that, look, I'm not that person anymore from my past. I'm not with them. Like, even now, I get it where people, they want to keep calling me, like I am my ex because of the couple we were back then. I'm not him. I'm not the relationship I was in. Stop referring to me as his. Like, don't do that. I'm just me. I haven't been there in so long. Over 20 years ago. People are only looking at that because of what he put out there. They're going to hear more from the toxic individual than they would you, because you are not there. You don't care about that. You have left that behind. You don't revisit it. You don't talk about it because you don't care. A person who's really focused on overcoming trauma bonds and narc abuse, you're not going to keep going back to that and speaking on it to the point where you keep reliving it. If anything, you want to encourage others, how they can get out of it and how better their life will be without certain individuals in their life. you know. So you start to realize that you just allowed certain things to happen to you and you accepted it in the name of love again, not because they loved you. It has nothing to do with them loving you. Because if they loved you, they wouldn't treat you that way. They don't even know what love is. They don't love themselves, so they can't love you. Narcissists cannot love you because they don't love themselves. They only love what you can do for them. It's all a part of how you make them feel. As long as they get their needs met, they're good. Love does not look like that. Love is not control. If anything, love is kind. Love is patient. Love doesn't curse you, criticize you, constantly complain about your character. Or, love is just not like that. And then when you're loved, because it's going to feel good, and you don't have to be afraid that I'll feel it this day and I probably won't see this for a while. So I'm just going to embrace the moment that I'm in now because I know I won't see this again. Like, you shouldn't even want to get stuck in that situation. Once you notice the pattern of that, get out. It's worth every bit of your peace of mind and happiness. Once you realize, that you're just dealing with someone who's keeping you in a state of limerence for so long, you know, and you just got used to it. Once you realize that, yeah, you're going to get out of it. A wake-up call will definitely get you out of it. It may be a simple meet. You may meet someone else, and you want more of what they presented to you. And they didn't do a lot to get something from you. They weren't expecting a lot out of you. They weren't pushing you to rush into something. That's when you know that a person, is worth giving a try. They're worth giving a try way more than someone who's rushing you into something. Rushing this fake connection. Rushing to get you to believe that it's meant to be that way. And they don't even really think that way, because if you think about the narcissist's love language, they say things like, "You gonna be mine forever. We are never breaking up. We're never getting a divorce." That's their love language when they're trying to convince you that, it's more like a possessive type thing. There's nothing romantic about that. If anything, it's cringy because it sounds too controlling, and you'll never work another job a day in your life again with me. Now, notice they saying with me. They mean it. But at the same time, they tell you that in the name of control. I wouldn't be the least bit flattered by that. At my big old age now, like, you know, it's just like you go through things and you experience it from different angles, and you're like, man, I'd rather work and struggle and get by and make it and trust God and, let Him be the lead, and He's my provider, and know that God is my provider, than deal with someone who just want me to sit at home while they just do whatever. Because they could be cheating on you, and 9 times out of 10, if you're dealing with a narcissist, they're cheating. They want you at home, and they don't want you out and about and working and in the spotlight and being seen and getting to know people, so that they can keep you in that box. They could keep you in bondage. You're really keeping yourself in bondage every time you return back to the north. But so they can keep you, you know, put away, so that others won't find out about you. And then you stuck behind these four walls. You're believing, that this is all in the name of love. They're doing this because they care about me. They're protecting. What is to protect? What is to protect? They don't need to protect you. you know. Um, yeah, but that's something to think about. How narcissists, they come at you all of them come at you the same way in the beginning, before the trauma bond is even formed. They all come at you that way. And they may speak about things that they dealt with in their life, may not. You probably never even went that far with them, as far as things that you dealt with in your past, deep rooted issues, you know, trauma that you dealt with. Neither you probably spoke about it. But for some reason, they feel like they need you to fulfill them in a way. And you feel like they are going to keep their word and fulfill you in the name of love. And they're not. So that's how the trauma bonds are started. And that's how you can end it. Thank y'all for watching. Leave your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you soon.